Megan.
I'm Kate.
And this is Cooking with the Bells. What are we making?
Let's see. Sorry. It's early for us today because we're having a bit of a barbecue. So we're actually going to make a non-alcoholic sangria because several members of our family that are coming to this barbecue can't have alcohol due to their medications. So it's going to be a great time. We're very excited. We're just tired.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start off with some sliced fruit. I have 2 oranges sliced that I'm going to drop in here.
You can smell the citrus. I love it.
So good. I just love how pretty citrus slices are.
For sure, if you're gonna make this, I would suggest like a clear pitcher or container of some sort so you can see just how pretty it is. It makes for a great decoration.
It really does. So I have 2 lemons in there as well that I sliced, and then I had a lime going bad on my counter, so I went ahead and sliced it up to add in. You can also add like fresh cranberries or anything like that you want. They're just not in season right now, so I'd rather leave them out than
It's kind of like a
some.
kitchen sink drink, everything but the kitchen sink.
Exactly.
We're adding all sorts of citrus, all sorts of juices, and you can play around with the flavors and see which ones you like best.
For sure. So I'm going to start with 1 cup of orange juice. And as always, this recipe will be linked down below, so you don't have to worry about rushing to write this down or anything. And then we're going to add 2 cups of cranberry juice. And just for a note, I am using 100% juices with no sugars added. So depending on what juices you buy, it could alter the flavors a little bit just with things like the sweetness.
Right, because this is 100% cranberry juice instead of like the cranberry juice cocktail. So just be careful when you're reading your labels to see which ones you're adding. That way you don't have an overly sweet or overly tart drink.
And then I'm going to do 2 cups of grape juice. We kind of like ours sparkly, so we're actually using sparkling white grape juice. You can completely use red grape juice, whichever one that is.
Right.
If you want, and you don't have to use sparkling if you don't want to. We just like the extra bubbles.
We do. I feel like it makes it a little bit more fancy. Because it is a party.
Exactly. So excited. I'm about to go away to Utah for a little bit, so this is kind of like the last big family gathering. All right. And our extras in our bottles, and we also have a couple of extra bottles of all of our juices, we'll keep out so people, if they want to freshen up their sparkle or add a little more of a flavor, they can kind of customize it.
Or if we start running out, we can add to the container itself and have a little bit more, because I mean our fruit slices are still going to be good.
Yeah. Now I'm going to add a whole bottle. This is apple cranberry sparkling cider. If you don't want to use this, the other alternative once you have all your juices is you can use about 5 cups of lemon lime soda or sparkling water or mineral water. Your choice. So I'm just going to add this whole bottle.
And if you want like an apple taste but without like the cranberry juice and stuff, you can always use just apple juice.
Yeah. For sure.
But look how pretty this is. Look at all the bubbles.
And then I'm going to use half a bottle of sparkling blush. It's, let me make sure I get this right. It is an apple and raspberry concentrate.
And I feel like this is perfect for like a baby shower, where you're not having an alcoholic beverage, or even like a wedding shower, because look how gorgeous that coloring is.
And since we are using sparkling, that's all I'm going to make for now, because like we said, we can always come back in with our juices and top this off. But if we fill it all the way up, it's very possibly going to go flat before everyone gets it, before it's all drank. So this is something we personally like to make in batches. You can completely double, triple this recipe if you want. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to put the lid on, and then since it's in this jug, I just kind of give it a shake. No need to dirty a spoon. And then I think it's ready for us to take a quick little taste. I said that so strangely. Just gonna get a little bit so we have plenty for everybody.
And if you're not having a barbecue, you could always, but you're having like a small get together, you could easily decorate everyone's glass. But just because we are having a larger get together, we don't want to have to decorate, you know, a ton of glasses. So, but if you're having a small dinner party, a couple orange garnishes, some lemons in there would be gorgeous.
So pretty, for sure.
All right, cheers.
It's fruity and refreshing without being like overly citrusy like our limeades and lemonades are, just because not everyone loves that. I feel like this is a good like neutral ground between sweet and citrus and
and considering I don't indulge in alcohol at this point in my life, it's nice to have like a sparkling beverage that, you know, has some of those similar notes of like wine, but it's just a nice sweet but a little bit tart. It's just great.
It's true. Oh, it's so good. I'm actually gonna put this so y'all can up here so y'all can stare at its beauty.
Love it.
I think it's so cute.
It is. So, we'd mentioned we're having our little barbecue cookout get together today. It's actually for a birthday party, so we're just gonna make a quick smoked cobbler. It's gonna be super easy because it uses a yellow butter cake mix, a can of crushed pineapple, which is 20 ounce, a can of cherry pie filling, which is 21 ounces, and 1 stick of melted butter. How easy is that? That's like what, 4 ingredients?
And if you need this to be like dairy free, you can use your plant-based butter, just whatever.
Which is what we're actually using today.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's whatever you need to use for any dietary restrictions you might have.
And our butter recipe yellow cake mix is actually dairy free as well. So make sure you're reading your labels because those can change at any time. But it just contains, its allergen statement is just contains wheat, which is great for me since I am completely dairy free. It's always nice to have a dessert option.
Yes. So, just gonna open up our can of pineapple and our can of cherry.
And getting my cake mix here. So, first things first, we're gonna dump our pineapple and our cherry pie filling into our pan.
So, all that crushed pineapple. And this is honestly the way we do this. You could do this with any pie filling and any fruit that you want. Honestly, this is just like a tried and true favorite of our families.
Let me tell you a secret. I actually do a blueberry pie filling with a lemon cake mix during the spring, summer. And it's just like the perfect dessert.
Happened to bring a spoon out today.
You know, we did not. We didn't realize that would be so sticky and sticking in there.
Minor blooper pause. And we're back. So I'm just gonna scrape out all the good thick cherry pie filling goodness. Waste not, want not, as my grandmother always said.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is actually a recipe your grandmother used. Is that right?
That's originally where I first had it, and then my mom's made it most of my life. So I definitely grew up on this.
I've heard it called a couple different things, a cobbler, a dump cake. But our unique spin on it today is putting it on the smoker so it gets infused with like a little bit of smokiness.
That's our twist on the family classic, because, you know, family classics, you always gotta put your own spin on them, make them your own, and then teach that to your kids, and they do the same thing.
That's very, very true.
So I just mixed that all together well, and now I'm just smoothing it out. Boop, boop, boop.
All right. So now that she has that all incorporated, I'm just gonna come in here and sprinkle this cake mix all around.
Dry cake mix. I know it feels wrong, but just trust us.
But it'll taste so right.
It's surprising how good of like a crumble crust that a dry cake mix actually makes on a cake.
You know, and you can put this together like so quickly.
Yeah. And you can obviously just chunk this in your oven at 350. It takes about an hour, but pretty much you just want this top will gain some color and get crumbly. And then the filling that we just mixed together will get bubbly and hot and gooey, you know, all the good things about a cobbler.
Alright, so
And
that
I'm just
is
gonna
nice and
smooth this out so everyone has about the same level.
this is 1 stick of melted butter. We use plant.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna give it a good drizzle, making sure that it gets nice and all over, not just in one spot.
Yeah.
Which is why I like to use a measuring cup for this. It makes it easier to pour out.
So good.
Okay. I'm just actually going to take the spoon and just make sure that the little hills and valleys and everything's covered with a little of this. 'Cause sometimes it runs into the little crevices. There we go. Now it's going to go on our smoker for probably, I'd say, 30-ish minutes, and that before we actually take a peek and look at it, because we want to keep our temp up, so we don't want to keep opening and closing it and that kind of thing. So we're just gonna,
and then depending on how our smoker's holding up with the winds that are known in East Texas in the spring, we might pull it off after 30 minutes until it'll have a good smoke kiss at that point, and just put it in our oven to finish baking.
All right, have my pan of water that adds like a little bit of a steam chamber going on in here. Our smoker is currently at about 200, but we're going to let it rise just a little bit.
Yep. There's some more charcoal and wood on the fire.
But we just wanted to get it nice and preheated before we put it on there. So now we're just going to let that temperature rise up. We're going to leave it on for 30 minutes before we check it. And we'll see what happens depending on the weather.
Yep.
We'll be back.
So we probably had this on our smoker for about 20 minutes, and then we went ahead and transferred it inside to our oven just for the ease of it. It'll have the good smoke flavor from that, but then we weren't having to watch our fire as closely. And we
had
were
other
able,
things to do.
Yeah, we were just getting everything ready for our little barbecue get-together today. So very exciting. Everyone's starting to show up, so I think we should have a quick taste test.
Quickly, yes. We want to make sure it tastes good before we serve it to everybody, right?
Exactly. Hot.
Hot. It's so hot. But you can taste that smokiness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Delicious.
Because you get the hit of the cherry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
and
like
the
in the
pineapple.
crust is where you get that smokiness.
The crust has like that good smoke behind it that like is just iconic of smoking. So it's so good. It's so delicious, and I think everyone's gonna love it. I'm so excited. I can't wait to try it.
We cannot have another bite of this though. We have to save it.
We do, because it's
Saturday
for somebody's birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Not you, but you know who. Unless it's your birthday. Anyway, we gotta go.
Yeah, like always, if you enjoyed this video, if you found any type of entertainment out of it, please hit that like button down below. It helps us a lot.
Yes, and if you like seeing us and you want to see more from us, go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button down below too. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you! Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate your support. Like always, the recipe will be in the comments below, the link to the recipe, not the actual recipe. You know what we mean. You've been here. So
And
go see us on our website, and
we'll see you next time because we gotta go. Bye.